Yes, and I do have to get rid of the rest of my energy. Otherwise, TP aside, yes, timestamps exist in case you just want to skip forward, because we are going to go in and just get started. Again, just going to be one entry on day 1 until we move to round 2. Then, yeah, we'll see what happens. Also, I think I made a mistake on a certain message, but it's fine. So, without further ado, just to kind of fill in time while I'm filling out my roster here, yeah, it's funny enough, I trained other gold ships, but apparently this long A gold ship was the better one. Up. Was it that one? I'm going crazy. That's Mile. Where are we going? Why do you do this game? It should be long with memos. But basically, just know I trained like 2 or 3 gold ships that looked pretty good for, with long S, and they just all keep losing to this gold ship, for reasons why I don't know. It's likely the power increase, but other things help as well, so I guess we'll see what happens. Otherwise, I do have other Musume to kind of carry. Just gonna show this really quickly just to show, and away we go. We'll keep Gold Ship on top to keep her as the star of the show, but otherwise, is it this Mayano? I think it's this Mayano. So, just making sure. Otherwise, I'm just showing you a different Mayano, but I'm pretty sure it's this one over here. Is it that one? No, it's not. It's this one. Well, I'm going crazy. Oh, it says distance. Why am I doing this to myself? Should actually both go by date acquired, funny enough. So it's this Mayano Top Gun. And she's going to be N. NB is perfectly fine from what I've tested. I didn't do a lot of tests, but I did enough to know what's going to happen. So without further ado, this is my Mayano being an N closer. And then this will be, I have a Pace Chaser McQueen. I think so, just to show really quickly. This is the first McQueen I made, not the greatest. And I think the second one is missing angling and skimming, but she's more there as a safety measure in case there are basically a lot more fronts, or maybe even a runaway for whatever reason. And she can survive. And yeah, you'll notice that between the first McQueen and the other one, this one has 2 gold rare skills. It just turns out better for me. If nothing else, if you want an explanation from my own opinion. But without further ado, this is the McQueen we're going with pretty much, and off we go. So, yeah, this video is being recorded pretty much near the open time of the Champions meeting. So, if we run into S-Class or better horses, then, well, them's the breaks. And I expect to see gold chips like 70 to 80% of the time. For me, anyway. You could see less. Could be RNG based on who you match with. But hey. And if nothing else, if you do a really bad day 1 here, or even this first entry, day 2 exists. So, here we go. So immediately a gold chip. And then someone else using Oshi picks, I assume. So without further ado, we'll take a quick look. I'll do a quick scan just to see. Otherwise, yeah. Stamina. Oh, well, that's me. And then Stamina. And I mean stamina in unless you have like 3 recovery skills, like maybe the Agnes Tachyon. But aside from that, oh boy, this is a low stamina lobby. So we're gonna at least show why you need a minimum 1,000 stamina. You can go 900. It depends on your strategy. Maybe you have 3 gold recoveries. Maybe you proc both 2 gold recoveries. But I picked 2 because I just want to be safe. You can go with 1. A lot of the practice partners that I happen to have, or a lot more than I expected, had just 1 gold recovery, but it works out perfectly fine because either their stats carry them through, or they actually proc it, and that's all they need. But I promise you, there's a lot of fluctuation in the long CM in terms of, hey, do your skills proc? No, lose. If you get blocked after your skills proc, lose. There's a lot of bad that can go wrong. So yeah, anywho. So as we start this here for timestamp's sake, again, just to note, if nothing else, I do really need to keep in mind who is proccing the recovery skills. I can speed this up. Not really any reason to, though, because I will often miss something, so that probably would not be good. That being said, if I do run into a high, well-built lobby of Musume, then you'll notice, first off, my McQueen will stay like in 6th or lower, probably even get blocked by a late. If anyone's running a late surger or an end closer, she's gonna fall back behind because she doesn't really have a lot of mid-game, early-game skills. So that will cause her to fall behind. Gold Chip did proc 1 gold recovery. Really looking for 2. Even with 1 gold recovery procking at times, you'll notice that some Musume do not make it, basically, and that would not be good. So what you should be seeing, if not enough gold recovery, or other horses don't have enough stamina, is basically whoever has more stamina will just shoot forward. That's just literally the name of the game. So at this point, I'm looking at Mayano Top Gun here, and as we approach this corner, we're going to see who procs swinging Maestro. That will essentially give us a good idea who's going to make it. So there's my McQueen. Hopefully my gold chip procs as well. Okay, yeah, gold chip procs, she'll survive. Now, will we get out is another question. Mayano proc swinging Maestro. She also has Breath of Fresh Air, so that can just happen randomly. But otherwise, we'll see what happens. I think I saw a unique blue. Yeah, so Halloween Rice, question mark, Halloween Rice. And I think there was one other Musume that proc the gold recovery skill. Everyone else is gonna die, so. And I mean that in the you don't have enough stamina range, so. Hopefully everything ends up well. Again, if we just get blocked by someone who runs out of stamina, that could happen too. That's happened in at least 2 practice races that I've looked at for fun, and yeah. Also note that as we approach the final leg here, yeah, probably here for timestamp's sake, especially since straightaway Spurk procs, you'll notice that I do take Pump Iron. I just took it as a precaution, and I didn't have any other places to use the skill points, so shrug. And then, of course, no stopping me is kind of the bare minimum for everyone else. That McQueen also procking, so if anyone were to somehow catch up, it would be that it would be Anime McQueen, but I don't think it's going to happen because of other stat differences. On top of 1200 speed, again, 1200 speed is kind of the base foundation you want to work with. Afterward, it's whatever stats you need. And in the case of this CM, it is certainly at minimum 1000 stamina. Unless you know what you're doing, of course. But otherwise, 1000 stamina minimum, 400 guts, bare minimum. Anything lower than that I've trained or practiced with, turns out doesn't work as well. So yeah. Again, note though, if you really want to try and analyze and observe on your own, you really should just watch the whole race in its entirety, so that you get an idea of what's actually happening for long, again, specifically for long races, so you can at least try to track stamina perks. But when you're confident enough kind of tracking how a horse's motor will most likely perform, you can look at basically mid-game skills, early game skills even, especially with groundwork, front runners, but even groundwork other positions, so that you can stay in front and have to make everyone else at least sweat to pass your Musume, who's in a good position. Again, the definition here of good position, meaning you're first among those in your lobby. Again, in this case, pretty much everyone ran 2 ends, 1 pace chaser, I believe. So we'll take a quick look here. Low speed, but can win. Because a lot of this here, I'll mention it after the timestamp, has to do with a lot of power. But yeah, you can go 1200 stamina, but if you don't have the speed to match up for it, really, really bad things can happen. So yeah, and I want to take a look at that Mayano, by the way. Low power. So here I used to run, in my work in progress Umas, just to place hold, I did have like 600 to 700 power. I promise you, it does not end well. Shrug. So yeah, this special league, proper enough, can survive. Or from what I know, I could be wrong. Again, I'm not the most veteran trainer in Musume. That being said, oh boy, can things happen. Low power. And the reason why power, I mean, I'll mention it here, might as well. The reason why power is important here is because of the big uphill that you're climbing past the final leg. That turns into a downhill, which also means if you have like 600, 800 wits and the rest of your stats look proper, you can also just speed up and win. But really, by the time you reach the bottom of the downhill at the end of this course, you'll most likely hit your max speed from what I looked into. So, shrug, we'll find out. Also, got to keep in mind who has things. Yeah, so we should. I think it's 3 gold chips and 3 Mayanos. But yeah, not by any means. Don't let it be said that I'm implying that my Musume are built well. They're built like at the bare minimum. Anyone who properly trains their horse will just win out. So I promise you, it can get a lot worse for me. That being said, so what I was mentioning earlier about high power being necessary on top of stamina, so basically this is a big RNG CM on top of all the minimum requirements you want to hit. Again, minimum 1000 stamina, minimum 800 power, bare minimum, and then 1200 speed, of course, just to max it out. So even that already, if you're getting into Musume as a free-to-play player now, boy, is it an uphill battle to get your Musume trained up to speed. But as a complete free to play myself, yeah, I was fighting to get proper aces for this champions meet. So thankfully, I have 3 serviceable Musume, but still by far my gold chip is the best well trained. That being said, I didn't see if I proc to go home specialist, so I guess we're gonna find out if my gold chip survives. Because again, my gold chip will perform the best. Otherwise, if my McQueen happens to stay in second, then we could win too, but then there's a Daiwas card, and then there's obviously a Mayano Top Gun in first, which will, yeah, not be very good. So again, at this point, I'm hoping to stat diff the rest of the lobby here, with 1200 speed, 800, 900 plus power. Keep in mind, I wasn't tracking the mood as well of Musume, so here is where the uphill kind of starts, and this is where you'll see placements kind of going out of whack, because those with higher power will accelerate a lot faster than those with lower power. So again, still on uphill, now we're on the downhill, and now we're going to see who procs no stopping me, because boy oh boy, a lot of weird things can happen here. So yeah, without further ado, I have to win at the final leg, that's all I'm trying to say. But as I mentioned, the Summer Special Week was a good contender for success here. So at this point, hoping for the best. Yeah, it's not going well. I think that Mayano, that just hit second here, got a downhill proc on acceleration, so shrug, hoping that my A-long gold chip catches up, because otherwise things are not going to end badly for me. My Mayano procs Breath of Fresh Air, but that's not going to be enough because we don't have the speed. Also was being blocked for the very beginning, so as my Mayano just, you know, tries to get into second here, yeah, not really much else. Hopefully I at least get second. Okay, I did. But yeah, my Mayano is also not proper. I mean, might as well talk about it as we go through this, but a lot of reasoning behind my non-gold, basically Mayano and McQueen having trouble with power is because they don't have, I don't think they have power. I know Mayano doesn't have power, so not having power 10%, 20% like gold chip has 10% means that it's a lot harder to grab power, which is why people with resources or trainers that have, you know, get lucky enough or have everything to stick stats into power, yeah, the inheritance, any can also slip in inheritances for power. That's all I'm trying to say. So we'll take a quick look here. This is a blocker Silent Suzuka, so that no paces take the front, I assume. This is, yeah, probably 2 rare gold, so you need to proc both. This is my gold chip. And here is, yeah, just, so this is basically closer to the gold chip I would like to make. Just straight away spurt, but it should serve perfectly well. And then no stopping me, of course. So this is a gold chip to win. That's my McQueen. That's my Mayano. No stamina, no speed. You know, Oguri Cap, always good to throw in. Agnes Tachyon can be played with lower stamina requirements because of her unique, and off we go. So, yeah, definitely McQueen getting blocked from just being lucky and getting first, because there is a front runner here. Just a block, if nothing else. But otherwise, as we stand here, let's find out what happens. So, that being said, so you'll notice that I have a lot of firm conditions. Again, power is kind of important. It's the other minimum stat line you want to hit, but it's right after, obviously, the other 2 that you already might likely have trouble getting to good levels, which is stamina and speed. And then right along with power would be wits, again, for the downhill here. But again, overall wits, I would rather sacrifice because it's RNG anyway. Now, now, yes, if you have an extra 300, 600 wit over someone else, you're likely going to perform a lot better for no other reason than the position keep that your Musume will do before the final leg will be very, very, very good. And so she'll be in a good position to make do. But also, again, on this racetrack specifically, there is a downhill that can help out with just a bit of acceleration at minimum. So that would, again, help out immensely. Basically, I have a good chance of losing in this lobby. So, yeah, 300 wits is the bare minimum you want to be in. If for no other reason than you're trying to proc gold recovery skills. I was not seeing whether or not I procced Go Home Specialist, but as we approach this corner, I really hope we proc other stuff as well. Shrug! That being said, so Maestro on gold chip on Mayano, no Maestro on McQueen, so I guess McQueen's just gonna lose. Nope, there it is. Did I proc cooldown? I wasn't watching. Well, let's find out. Because the other part of this is, yeah, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, near the beginning of this video, anyone who's running a front runner means that, again, my McQueen is there to kind of catch up as a pace chaser, because everyone, any late surgers, if there are any in the CM, obviously they're going to be people running their Oshis. But any end closes are also going to suffer unless they catch up during this mid to final leg portion, which is getting pretty close. Basically, this Silent Suzuka is not far enough to actually hurt us in terms of running end closers, but hey. There's no stopping me from Agnes Tachyon, though, so that's probably going to end up losing us this run. Because, yeah, the front runner already created enough distance for us to have problems catching up. Shrug! So, there it is. We get our straight descent off the downhill on this corner, but it's probably not going to be enough. Pump iron, so if anyone's going to catch up, there's Gold Chip trying to be a rocket, but I don't know if it's going to be able enough to close the distance. Our McQueen actually did shoot forward a little bit, but again, is it going to be enough? Because at this point, everyone's hit their top speed, so that might help make the difference here. But we'll see. I don't remember this Agnes Tachyon's speed. So let's find out. 200 meters? It's possible. No, though. Yeah, no, not enough. Also, McQueen didn't proc cooldown, so there were some stamina issues as well. And again, if Gold Chip didn't proc Gold Home Specialist either, pain. So, shrug. I don't think Mayano procced Breath either. So yeah, we were having stamina problems. You will barely survive still, but that's because your Musume will spurt to a max speed that is lower than their speed stat allows. So again, my other strategy, if my speed stat couldn't hit 1200, would be to just sacrifice it for power for the exact reason you just saw. But again, in the end, and I wasn't keeping an eye on the mood, so hey, oh, there's a Manhattan Cafe here. Low powered, but doesn't matter. Everything else looks okay. So, without further ado, we'll take a quick look. Yep, that's proper speed, a little bit of speed, but again, doesn't matter if the rest of the lobby doesn't proc enough stamina. So, shrug. And off we go. Yeah, that's looking like a good Mayano. And, yep, that's the proper Gold Chip. And I'm gonna be gambling. That's a this is a front runner, right? Yep. So be long, but doesn't matter. And if anything else, she's there to kind of block everyone else. So shrug. Let's find out what happens. So without further ado, again, I would have liked to take more wit. Again, I'm gonna go portrait, or I'm gonna go portrait for the sake of thumbnail stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna lose. There's a good chance I lose this lobby. But again, long CMs are gonna be RNG here. And if nothing else, for no other reason than we're going to keep an eye on everyone's stamina skill procs, and if no one else procs stamina skills, then I have a good chance of winning. There are obviously more than a few Musume that have a lot of gold recoveries, but again, I promise you that if you don't proc 2 gold recoveries, your victory is not assured. That being said, we are seeing a lot of gold recoveries proc, so... And definitely the 2 that I wanted to see, Go Home Specialist and, well, at least Breath of Fresh Air at an opportune time. Anytime after 200 meters will help out immensely. But also this Summer Maruzensky being in front means that my McQueen is probably going to be the only one, if enough distance is created, to try and catch up. That being said, it's Summer Maruzensky, so she's just going to be in front and stay in front, and that's going to make me very sad. There was some information as we're kind of waiting here for people to catch up as we reach the mid leg here, as our McQueen proc score man. There is talk about basically not taking Pump Iron, but again, as I mentioned in an earlier race, I promise you there was nothing else I could have taken that would have been great. Maybe like Masterful Gambit probably would have been the more consistent pick, but Pump Iron will still at least help out a lot more, from what I've seen anyway. Otherwise, maybe a long S Gold Chip that I had would have helped out, but because I like to basically stay purist in terms of CM, I don't switch my Musume in the middle of a CM, or try not to. I obviously have done so before, you've seen it in earlier CMs, but that's only... I had good excuses, and they were excuses, so away we go. Hopefully we proc No Stopping Me. If we proc No Stopping Me, we have a better chance of winning, but I guess we'll find out. Shrug! What we definitely won't be able to proc, maybe, is, what we wouldn't, yeah, is Pump Iron, but No Stopping Me still available, and I think, if I recall correctly, from what I'm looking at, straight away, Spurt can proc in odd positions. But otherwise, this Summer Maruzensky just falls to the back, where there's a Manhattan Cafe in front of us. No Stopping Me from Mayano, but really it's McQueen who takes front first, and then I think I proc No Stopping Me off our own McQueen. So at this point, let's see if everyone stat diffs me, because I would be the one getting stat diffed here. Again, I can't explain why my long A gold chip wins over my long S gold chip, even though the other gold chips pretty much stat diff the gold chip I'm using right here. Also dueling, so usually, yeah, I have a lot more guts than I expected to have, so it helps out immensely. That being said, did my Mayano, is this my Mayano? Please tell me, no, it's not. It's not my Mayano. Yeah. So, I was like, there's no arrow. That's not my Mayano. Anyway, 2 wins at least. I can probably hit 3 wins, but we'll see. Again, this is my first entry of the first day, so sadness happens. But yeah, no stopping me from gold chip was not enough because of the getting stat diffed by everyone else in the lobby. Stat or aptitude diffed. But again, I was working with long S gold chips, and again, for some reason, this gold chip just performs a lot better. I could show you the other gold chips I had, but I'll consider it and see. So, off we go. That being said, I should... No, actually, I can review it in post. Yeah, I can review it in post. I was like, why did that Mayano... Because I swear I had better Mayanos elsewhere, but... I guess we'll see. We'll see. So, low power gold chip. Yeah, that's a proper Agnes. That's a proper Mayano. I'm just going to assume they have 2 gold recoveries, and I'll keep a lookout. Basically, this is a lobby that I can lose to, too. So, yeah, again, as I've mentioned before... DCM wasn't the greatest for me, but I feel at least I raised 3 good aces, or mediocre aces at minimum. So, shrug. But otherwise, yeah, again, always keeping an eye out for the uphill on the final leg, and then the last of the downhill on the final leg, because that will also give you quite a bit boost from what I've seen. If for no other reason, from my observations, again, I do have practice partners that have quite high stat differences, but... It's not impossible to win, if for no other reason than everyone else misses their stamina procs. But all the gold chips proc go home specialists, so this is already going to be a very competitive final leg. Now, what's going to happen afterward? Well, we'll see. Again, my McQueen doesn't have a lot of mid-game skills, and now we have a rush. I think that's my first rush of this actual entry, so that's not going to end well for me. Maybe if Mayano procs built stamina recovery perks, she can recover, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough, so... I guess we're gonna see. Now, on the other side of that, not as obvious, is that you don't know if anyone else procs rushed. So for all you know, everyone else could be procking rushed at inopportune moments and never proc their gold recovery, which means they will definitely not have enough stamina for the rest of this race in the CM. But again, at this point, you're at the mercy of RNG. So hey, so we did. I think no, we didn't proc Breath of Fresh Air yet. Are we gonna proc Maestro as well? They still have the rest of the corner left. So Mayano did proc both. Please gold chip proc both. You're the better of the aces that I have. No. This is not going to end well for me. Well, we'll see what happens here. So, Mayano got rushed, and my gold chip didn't proc both recoveries. This is not going to end well. I think McQueen did proc cooldown earlier. If she did not, well, we're going to find out. We are in pump iron position. Never mind, not anymore. And... yeah, and then Leia, running a late Surger would have not been great for pumping iron. Or basically, running Major Orion would not have been great for me. We can proc no stopping me here as gold chip. Will anyone else proc no stopping me? On my team, by the way. No, the answer is no. So, whoops. And at this point, it's already too late to proc no stopping me. Yeah, it'll help pass others, but I promise you'll need a lot more. Professor of Curvature has reached the bottom here. That'll help with a bit more max speed for that Agnes Tachyon. Flashy landing from another Mayano, and I am going to suffer. So, let's hope that we procced a lot of good, well, blocks here and wit on the downhill, because otherwise we are going to lose. Yeah, I see McQueen procking there, but she's not getting any closer to this Mayano Top Gun. So, sadness is happening. Nope, Mayano Top Gun procking her unique and breaking away from everyone, so this means a 1-win, 4-loss entry for me. I was keeping an eye out to see if she died at the end there, but no, that was not the case. So, off we go. And I guess that'll be closing out the end of this video. So yeah, without further ado, just gotta wait for day 2, and maybe we get a 3-win in one of the rest of my entries for the rest of the day, but we'll see. So, we'll take our 1-win records and go off. Again, both at the mercy of RNG, but also my Musume, I'll admit, are not the best trained. So without further ado, we'll take a look at our runner history here and, well, close out the video. So yeah, without further ado, should be at the end screen now. Not really much else to look at the moment. I have 50 more races left to do yet today. I'm just going to speed through them, but On day 2, we will see if anything looks better. That being said, on day 2, I will not be making a video anyway. Just going to show you at least the out-of-the-gate Vanguard entry that I'd like to do. And, well, not really much else to say. We'll collect our mission, and not really much else to comment on. So without further ado, without taking too much more of your time, if you have anything to say, you know what to do. If you want to support me, you know what to do. Otherwise, I'm still fishing for a gold ship to talk around this lobby, but that's just me problem. So yeah, without further ado, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!